Welcome to Meanwhile at the Castle podcast. I'm Queen Emily.
I'm Queen Deborah.
And we are queens of our castles, keeping the domestic arts alive. Today is December 7th, Friday, and it's episode 40. So welcome. We are coming to you from Salt Lake City, Utah, and it's 31 degrees outside. I don't really appreciate that actually today.
You know, I am a firm believer in summer.
Me too.
But I love it. I love it. It's festive.
My only problem in Salt Lake, when it gets cold, the air gets really bad.
Yeah,
here.
And we've all got headaches.
Yeah, it's just
then
yucky.
I end up with sinus infections, and
that's the worst part. That's the worst. But the rest is great, and it's Christmas time.
Beautiful. I may be changing my tune in 5 months when there's still snow on the ground.
Yes, exactly.
Right
exactly.
now, I love it.
Well, we are so excited to be back with you. It's been a while, but it's great to be here. And we are celebrating today because we hit 4,000 subscribers since our last episode.
It's fun.
So we're going to be doing a giveaway. Of course, we have to have a giveaway to celebrate. This beautiful bag with its matching, oh, thank you for moving that, matching Little Notions pouch was so kindly donated by a wonderful friend. This is from Margaret. She is Knit by Gramsy on Instagram. And she doesn't have an Etsy store or anything. She just donated it because she wanted to make something beautiful to share with our subscribers. And it is beautiful.
It is.
So,
with outside pockets too.
Yes.
Yay. And a nice size.
It is a great size. And look at this. This is so cute. Look at this little sheep with the little, oh, I'm showing you backwards. Anyway, it's just adorable. Adorable. So in order to enter for this giveaway, you'll go to, or just comment below and tell us what was our thing? Oh yes. How many Christmas gifts are you making this year? And let's be honest, because like I said, I was only making one, but that changed.
Yeah,
Not a lot, but yours did. So yes, just share with us how many Christmas gifts you are making this year, whether it's knitting, crocheting, other kinds of making. Would love to hear from you.
And then we'll pick a winner on our next episode and contact you. Actually, you contact us.
Yes.
Because you will have to watch and we'll announce your name and then you contact us.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So what's going on, Deborah? What's up with life?
Oh, we've had a lot of things happening. First of all, we had Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted.
Which
was going on
so
and is fun. And so many kind people had granted pattern wishes for me, which is a blessing and a curse because I really wanted the patterns and now I have too many things that I've been wanting to start.
It is bad. That's what January is for.
I know. I have been like collecting all of the yarn and getting the needles ready, and like I'm ready for a major cast-on party here. So
that'll be way fun.
So we had that, and then it's Thanksgiving, and
it has been a while since we podcast.
It's been a long time, actually. Thanksgiving, I had most of my extended family at my house, and we crammed in, and it was fun. It was lovely. We played Pictionary with the whole family. It was really cute with the littlest kids drawing, and oh, they were so fun. And then we went to the movies with some of the extended family and saw Crimes of Grindelwald. Yep. So, get that. And for Thanksgiving...
Yeah, for Thanksgiving, we were at our house. It was a couple days before Arroyo left, so we sent Arroyo off on her mission for our church, and just a few days before that was Thanksgiving, and so we just wanted to be home, and it was lovely. It was so nice, just kind of a very relaxed, very enjoyable holiday before all the craziness of getting her off.
We've done Thanksgiving just me, my husband, and my kids several years because when your diets are so restricted, it's really difficult to manage that. And I thought it would be really sad, but it wasn't. It was really nice.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. So, but I also love being with others too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's great.
Yes. So
either way, life is good though. I mean, I miss Arya like crazy. She's been gone for how many? Today's the 9th day.
A week, and yeah,
It's not that long yet. But I got to hear from her yesterday and get a bunch of pictures, and she's just doing great and happy as can be. So that's wonderful.
That is good. Good news to get from your children when they leave.
But then today, Ethan, my oldest, and my husband Richard are up about 2 hours away, where Ethan's going to be going to school, to college, and they're looking at apartments and touring the campus and all of that. And he moves out in January. So 2 of my 4 kids being gone
really
within a month and a half of each other. I'm not sure how I feel about that. No, I am pretty sure. No, I have mixed feelings. We'll just say that.
I'm not sure. I am sure.
I do know how I feel about it, but they're just mixed feelings. We'll put it that way. Because you're just,
I agree.
It's all good things that they're doing, and that's the whole point of raising your kids, is for them to have happy, productive lives and pursue their dreams.
Take wing and fly. Wait.
But but it is also sad when they leave you. So there you go. That's how I feel about that.
Yeah. Yeah, then we had, let's see, Christmas season has begun. Yay. And it is fun. We've done some fun Christmassy things. I went to a German Christmas market downtown called Christkindlmarkt. I'm sure I butchered that.
I have no idea.
And it is really fun. This is my 3rd year that I've gone and done that. And I went with my youngest daughter because the rest of my family, really, they just don't care about most of those things. And so I'm glad that I still have a buddy that wants to join me.
It's more fun to do it with somebody that's going to enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. So we had lots of fun doing that, and I decided I need to take a wagon or something with me to carry all of the purchases. So that's going to happen in the future. That's a little awkward, though, when you're in a crowd, but, you know.
And you have a wagon, but it's just you first. And your 11-year-old, so, like, you have no excuse to have a wagon.
Well, it's a utility wagon. It's not like a radio flyer.
I love it.
Cute. Okay. And then you went.
Yeah. Well, I went to the Festival of Trees, which is put on every year here in Salt Lake to benefit our local children's hospital, which is one of the best children's hospital in the United States. And that's really fun. It was so busy, though. We made the mistake of going on the weekend instead of on a weekday. One of the wonderful things about homeschooling is we can usually go to things when it's not busy. And so I get really spoiled with that. And so when I go on a weekend, I'm like, who are all these people? Why are they here?
How dare they invade your space?
But it was also weird because guess what? My kids didn't need me. They went with their friends and went and looked at stuff. And I was kind of like, oh, now what do I do?
I know. I couldn't go. I was sick that day.
I still had a great time. But yesterday was really fun.
Yeah, so then yesterday, Emily and I both went to the Dickens Festival.
We're going to the Dickens Festival, yay!
Christmas past and present and to die. And future.
It goes to be.
To be, I thought to die.
Maybe that too.
Ah! That was really fun, and
it was so much fun.
Went
We spent a lot
crazy.
of money.
We
did all, but it was all Christmas shopping.
I know. I didn't feel guilty at all.
I didn't either.
Everything I purchased was for somebody else,
and it was already in the budget, so it was all good.
Yeah,
but it was just
like
I didn't necessarily plan on spending it there.
Yeah,
but I still anyway. It was really great.
Well, I was just excited because I'm sure that everybody has those people that you want to get something for, that you're like, what in the world can I get them? That's not going to be just
stuff.
Another thing that they don't really want or need, but I want to get them something. And so you're always trying to get really creative or inventive and just pray that it's something good. Anyways, but we stumbled upon this booth that had jewelry that was really meaningful to our family. So we got
It
stuff for
was.
like everybody.
All personalized, not like with names, but like just really special.
It was religious for our family, and it was just great. So we were really excited.
We started out with like, oh, I think I'll get one, and then it was another one. And between the two of us, I think we bought 9 pieces of jewelry.
Yeah.
So
and I overwhelmed the lady working there. She's like, hold on just a minute, because we were like, oh, and this one, because they were all custom orders, and they did them for you right there. And so
it was so fun though, and it was fun to talk to them. It was a small family business owned locally.
Yeah.
And it was just great.
Yeah.
But the Dickens Festival is they call it a festival. It's a marketplace, but it's all like decorated, and everybody's dressed in kind of that Dickensian garb with that feel to it. So it was just really fun and enjoyable.
Yeah, I got some gifts for the soon-to-be newlyweds.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how I feel about our kids growing up. It's all happening.
I know, mixed feelings, 100%.
Mixed feelings.
All right.
Alrighty.
We have got lots to show.
Yes, finished objects first, then we'll do our works in progress. We have a kindness segment today. Kindness is like sugar segment by Queen Deborah. And a little bit of an update on our knit along, our Be My Neighbor knit along, along with a giveaway. And then we have some shop news at the end. So, works in progress. I think you should start because you have way more than I do.
All right. Well,
finished objects. I like
finished objects.
Finished objects.
We have a shared finished object. This is a project that was actually knit by our knitting group. We have a knit night group once a month, and we wanted to do something for the owner of the place that we go and have our knit night at. I'm like, do I say?
Yeah,
I don't think she watches.
Emily
at Willow Hill Yarn Company, she lets us use her upstairs room, which is so cute. And so
the shop is in a log cabin, in an antique log cabin.
Yeah.
So it's like as neat as you can get.
It is. It's really sweet. And so we knit the Land of Sweets cowl by Helen Stewart, CuriousHandmade.com. And this she came out with last year for Advent knitting. And this is what we have. La, 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 la. It's still wet, just slightly, because it got finished last night, and so I was blocking it and just pulled it all off of the blocking mat. So it's kind of
that's really
funny. But what we did is, I mean, you have variety of gauges. We were like, who cares? Doesn't matter. It's just going to be a fun thing. So we had a color palette that we printed off for people to pull from when they decided what they wanted to add, and everybody added 1 or 2 sections, and
that's just so fun.
Anyways,
it turned out really, really nice. And I think it's very her. She's gonna love it.
Yeah, these are definitely colors that would be good for her. Let's see, we used a 3.5 millimeter needle, 24-inch circular. Of course, Chagu red lace, because that's my favorite. That's my favorite. At the end, the last person's like, oh, and who are these? And I'm like, they're mine. They're mine.
Do not take my needles.
because I'm casting this on today.
Oh, fun. I didn't know that.
With all the minis.
Awesome. I love it.
That I've got. So there's our first shared finished object that I've got to wrap up and take to her before this airs.
Yeah. Right. All right, finished objects. Well, I have one.
Okay. I've
one
got like
finished
17.
object.
Not 17, but let's see.
It's kind of crazy that's how my life is right now. Here it is, and it's finished but not blocked. It's just on this head. And so there you go. But this is Tied Knots by Justinia. I cannot say her last name. It's Letty's Knits on Instagram.
Letty's like
Letes Knits. Lorkowski. I believe it's Lorkowski. And she's the other half. Her husband is Martin's Lab yarn dyeing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Oh,
but
she has a lot of beautiful
her patterns are stunning. And I've knit this hat before for Amelia, our sister Amelia.
Oh, that's the same
a few
hat?
years ago. But I just love this. I knit this in my DK, classic DK base in Yarnbrary in Rainy Day Readathon. And this fun pom-pom was one of my yarn wishes that got granted, along with another one and some other fun things and some beautiful yarn from Yarn and Me on Instagram. So that was so sweet, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I have to show you one.
And this is going to be a gift for a friend. So I have to actually anchor that on better because right now it's...
Just do that for a while.
So anyway, but I love it. And of course this head is a little bit smaller than normal, so it's actually going to be a little slouchy and not actually come down and cover your nose when you wear it. But anyway, isn't that the funnest thing though? I love this cabling.
Yeah, that pattern. I didn't realize that's the same one you did for Amelia. It looks so different on
Yeah, well for Amelia I did it in a dark charcoal color. Yeah. And I actually did it in a 2-ply yarn, which didn't have great, it was woolen spun. And it did not have great stitch definition.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
But this one has a lot of stitch definition, which I just love. And you can't really see it from here, but there's some very cute kind of lime green, hot pink, and turquoise, tiny, tiny, tiny little speckles in this yarn. So it's really fun. Anyway, that is my only finished object.
Well, that's a good one.
So there you go.
Okay.
Lay it on us, Deborah.
Get ready. All right, I finished a pair of socks for my oldest daughter for Christmas. These I'm making ankle socks for my girls to wear with their ankle booties. This is the Wizarding World of Yarn that we purchased at Willow Hill Yarn Company. This is in the colorway Transfiguration. It is a fingering weight, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And now I'm knitting just about the same size for me and 2 of my girls, so we can all wear the same socks. And
That is nice.
it's nice, but it's not nice because I go and all my favorite socks are taken.
Stinkers.
So anyways, I wanted to make sure that my oldest daughter, when she moves out, that she has some selection for her own sock drawer. So there's
Beautiful.
one. So I said I wasn't going to knit any Christmas gifts, and then
we
should
saw
know
the
better.
parade of hats last time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we know how that
Well-
not knitting
well,
Christmas gifts is going.
Meaning I wasn't knitting any more because I had already knit a shawl earlier in the year for my sister, and I was working on socks for my mom. But I wasn't planning on doing any more than that. But then my sister asked for hats for her boys, and I'm like, well, if I'm gonna make hats for her boys, it would be really cute if I knit like matching hats for everybody, all the boys, like for my husband and then for my future son-in-law. Anyways, so I knit one for my husband. I think I showed you this one. I knit one for my brother-in-law. This is the Skyping beanie hat pattern by HJTH. That's on Ravelry. So I knit one for my husband, knit one for my brother-in-law, knit one for my nephew, who's 10, and then I knit one for the baby. I knit a 6 to 9 month size because winter lasts forever and I want him to be able to wear it for a while. So I figured he can wear it cuffed for a bit and then let the brim down to wear it longer. And I added these little tags to them that were gifted to me just in a swap previously. And this hat is the Basic Beanie by Emily Bolduan, Bolduan, but I adapted it to knit it in the round because it was knit flat and seamed, and I knit the short cuff version of it. And these are all knit in my DK base that the color is Midnight Mist. I am not knitting another one in this for everybody else. I was done.
You're like, I'm done with that color now.
Yes. That was my limit. So
I love them.
I instead started one in a different color. So this is a Malabrigo yarn. I pulled out the guts of the yarn ball. Pleiades.
Pleiades. Yeah.
It's the Arroyo base. Wait, upside down. And it's this blue color. Got to stick the guts back in just a minute. And I am knitting a hat for my father-in-law. And he went to BYU for gymnastics years ago. And he moved from California back to Utah a year and a half ago. So I thought I'd knit him something to keep him warm. And this hat is a just basic 1x1 ribbed hat. The pattern is Basic Ribbed Beanie by Kessa T. I purchased this on Ravelry. And you can add, it has a chart to, create your own logo. I did not do color work for this. I did knit it in the color work and it looked terrible and sloppy. So I ripped that out, and it has a square stockinette section in the ribbing, and I just went and duplicate stitched over the top of it to get the design I wanted. So last night at knit night, we were sitting there. Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarn, she's also Yarn Girls in the Yarn Cafe podcast. What's wrong with my brain? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, Tristan. Anyways, so while we were there, she finished a hat, cast on another one, and I swear I turned and looked at her progress like 40 minutes later, and she had done this much on her hat. I've been working on this for like 3-4 days. And she did 1x1, like same thing. It's also DK weight, and I was like, I did a double take, and I was like, what? So I threw my hat at her, like, knit on this. Would you? But she didn't want to.
She is so fast.
She is
so fast.
I could not believe it.
I can never believe everything that she turns out. It's just amazing, and it's beautiful.
It is.
I say turns out like it's like some industrial.
Well, she doesn't need
production line, but she's just so fast.
She is her own.
She is a knitting machine. Oh my goodness.
So that's the progress on hats for now. I have some more hats that I'm going to be working on. But I finished my mom's socks. This is the Centera socks patterned by Birch and Lily on Instagram. I purchased this, or I got this on Ravelry because she designed this using my black cherry colorway and gifted me the pattern. So I knit this pair for my mother using my guava nectar colorway, which is just a variegation of peaches and grays and creams. So it's just really soft and muted, which is perfect for my mother. And it has this twisted, tiny twisted cable down both sides, and almost like a basket kind of weave pattern kind of down the center. I did extra stitches. I cast on extra stitches and did the cuff, and then decreased on this purl round to go down to the size needed for the legs, so that these would have enough stretch on the calf for my mother, and then hopefully still fit her in the foot. It's always a guessing game.
It is when you're knitting for somebody else,
but I hope that they will fit. So
they're beautiful.
I'm really glad to get that one done, because I felt like until I had these socks done, I couldn't really focus on anything else because these took more brain power. So I'm happy to have those done.
They're lovely.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to think how many here. I think this will be the last one. Last time I showed bunting that I had been knitting.
Oh,
so
Deborah, it's so cute.
we'll say that this is finished because it's all that I plan to, watch out, there's pins.
Okay.
All that I plan to knit for now. On here I'll just keep knitting as I
Yep,
want.
one just fell.
So what I did is, seriously, I have these pinned onto this rainbow yarn because I want to hang it up and display it, but I'm not ready to say, oh, I'm done adding pennants to this one yet. So anyways, I've just done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, one that dropped, 9, 10, 11 of these.
They're
for
so
right now.
fun.
And the pattern, I think I dropped another one. That's okay. I've had it hanging up in my sewing room here. So it works. The pattern, I just had it written down here. Where'd it go? There it is. It's a free pattern. It's called Knitted Bunting Pattern. So it shouldn't be hard to remember. And it is on goodtoknow.com. It uses DK weight. I used fingering weight and held it double. And it calls for 3.25 millimeter needles. So I just went and copied and pasted like their instructions to print it out because it's just on the website with just information typed up in there. So I just copied and pasted so I could print out the pattern.
Without getting like all the website stuff.
Without all the website, exactly. So
that's fun.
now, where does all this go? Right here.
Did you have something else, or is that your?
I think yes. Now we're on to works in progress.
Yay! All right. Well, I'm going to show. Well, let's see. You should still go first because I think you still have more than I do. I only have 2.
I only have 2. So
Okay.
It's your turn.
All right. Well, here we go. This is my first. It's actually a half finished object, but this sock, I finished one and I'm just barely casting on the second one. These are also for my mom for Christmas.
You can see colors that she likes.
Yeah.
Peaches,
which she really,
grays.
peach and like a spearmint color are her 2 very favorite colors. Mm-hmm. So anyway, here are these socks, and this is a pattern that I'm designing. It's going to be called Tenderness and will come out probably in January, just in time to knit something for Valentine's Day. I think will be perfect. But it's just got a really simple cable that's kind of hidden within the stockinette, so it's just a subtle texture and some kind of ribbing stitches. It's a very, I think, lovely but simple pattern. And I am knitting this in Lichen and Lace, this yarn, and this is in the colorway Orchid. So here's the label for that.
Pretty.
And this was a gift to me from my lovely friend Devette. So thank you, Devette. I love it. And my mom is gonna love it too. So I've been working on those, and I cast these on actually this one on, I think it was a week ago, or 5 or 6 days ago, something like that. And I finished it in 4 days, but then didn't have a needle for some reason in my notions pouch in this project bag.
Oh.
So it sat waiting for me to Kitchener the toe. They are knit cuff down and will come in 4 sizes. So that will be coming up in January.
Very cute. Those are so pretty. Mom likes her socks.
She does. She wears them.
She does.
Which is always nice. The whole point of knitting something for somebody is so they'll wear it. So
yeah, she requested
lovely.
more socks for Christmas, so I was like, ha.
I know. Happy to oblige.
Yes, but I have decided that I'm doing vanilla socks next year because I realized I didn't have any plain knitting at all for any of my projects for the last little while, like all at one time. And so, but I was like, oh, I can't cast on anymore until I finish these. So you just need to have some plain brainless knitting to take with you if you're, going somewhere where you can't focus on it too much. So
I know. I'm going to the movies either today or tomorrow, and I don't have anything that I can take. So I'm going to have to cast something on.
I know. I did. Last week we went
I think I'll do a sock head hat. I think that's a good plan.
Yeah, that is a good one. We went to go see the Wreck-It Ralph
That's the
movie.
one I want to go see with my kids.
And I was like, I don't have any plain knitting. I don't have anything. And I'm trying to remember. Oh, so I cast these on. Oh yeah, in my hands. So here is a sock for my, I'm like, what did I do? Oh yeah, my youngest daughter, I cast these on. This will also be some shorty socks for my youngest. And this is in my Frosting and Sprinkles colorway.
I love it so much. I just got this one from her and I love it. It's so pretty, Deb.
Here, let me see that one so you can see. It has just light speckles of green and some reds, but mostly pinks and blues. And then where they mix, you get some other colors. It's just really fun. I like this section. Ooh, I like that section there.
That's a beautiful section.
So I actually took this
So cute.
skein because it ended up just slightly more blended and it wasn't as defined as some of the others. And so I took that one because I wanted everybody to have the perfect ones. So I love how these are like day glow.
They are so fun.
So I miss sugar cookies. Most things I'm like, it's okay. I don't mind if I don't have them. But sugar cookies I have missed since going gluten-free. And I have tried multiple recipes and they just always have this uncooked flour taste almost, and they're a little chalky, or they're just not, it's not the same. But when I dyed this up and then I was taking pictures, I'm like, I have got to make some. So I made some with my daughter and I drooled all over them, wishing I could
gross.
eat them.
You're not supposed to drool
Well,
all
my daughter didn't notice. So anyways, so then I finally was like, I'm just going to have to figure it out, and found a recipe for gluten-free vegan sugar cookies, because I need that as well. I don't have to have vegan, I just need it to be dairy-free and egg-free, but made them. And probably because it's been enough time since I've had an actual sugar cookie, I was like, hey, this isn't too bad.
Well,
this isn't
that's
too bad.
good.
So I made some yesterday. It satisfied the craving, so now I can keep knitting with these.
Good.
So, because every time I knit, I'm like, oh, I need some sugar cookies. So anyways, these are knit, let's see, I did 56 stitches, and I just did a little contrast for the cast on and for one row, and I knit 20 rows of 1x1 rib, and knit, I think I did like 12 rows of plain stockinette, and then did a heel flap and gusset, and then I will do the toe in this contrasting color. So these will be going pretty fast. Hopefully these will be done for Christmas. We'll see. If not, that's
They
okay.
will.
She'll still get them. Because I was going through all of my socks and I washed all of the socks because every single pair was dirty the other day, and that's just pathetic. So I washed them all, took inventory, and realized that my youngest has one pair. That's not right. She actually has two pair, but she lost the other.
Well, that's like Abby. Her feet have grown out of them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
she doesn't have any hand knit socks. Actually, that's not true. I just gave her a pair. So she has one pair as well.
Yeah,
Fit.
I've got to rectify that situation. Oh, and it's in this cute bag from my project bag swap. This is by West Green Loft Yarns. It is so cute. Love it. I can't remember if I showed this one before, but I love it. It's fun having Christmassy bags.
All right, I have to really quickly look something up because this is really...
Pattern?
Well, I need to translate something. Oh, and never mind. I'll just show you. All right, this is my next work in progress, and this is a sweater for my father. And just a little bit of background. Our dad he's basically held together with metal. So he has
literally the $1 Million Man.
Yes. But he says that he doesn't ever get any special powers with all the surgeries. So, but he has a birth defect and then also severe degenerative osteoarthritis, and just has had a lot of surgeries and things like that. So our dad has a hard time finding things that fit well because his arms are different lengths. You wouldn't know it just to look at him, but they're quite dramatically.
And his torso circumference versus the length is very difficult to shop for.
Yeah.
So
he was talking to me about wishing he could find a cardigan, and I told him I would make him one. So this is what I'm working on. This is the pattern, but on Ravelry, this is not how it's listed. So this is what it says on the pattern. But on Ravelry, it's listed as, I believe this is how you say it, stickad herkofta, which basically just means knitted jacket for men in Swedish, I think. It's translated, so this is still what it says there. You can actually, I don't think I've started a projects page, but you can find it in my favorites under adult sweaters. So that'll probably be, I will eventually maybe make a project page. I don't always do that. But anyway, it's a little bit hard to find this pattern, but it's a beautiful pattern. However, the picture on there is really bad. So I'm hoping that you can see it here on my phone. That's what it looks like. So it's a seamed cardigan, V-neck cardigan with beautiful cabling down both sides in the front and in the back.
And on the arms, isn't there?
I don't think there's any cabling on the arms.
Okay.
Which is, I'm relieved about, because that's where I have to do the most difficult alterations to the pattern. I'm enjoying working on it immensely. Maybe I should actually show you. So this is the back. I have finished the back. And you can see those cables there up and along the sides. And this is actually a colorway that I have not sold yet, but it's one of mine, and I'm going to call it Penny Dreadful. So it's a deep red with maroon, and then it's got little tiny flecks of black throughout it. And anyway, it's so pretty. I don't know if it's showing up as well on the screen as it is in person, but it's beautiful. The challenge for me is that this pattern has been has been translated from Swedish. And so, I mean, it is translated, it's in English, but every once in a while, the phrasing of something is a little confusing to me. But luckily, I mean, I've knit enough that I can look at something and go, well, I think this is how it is. And then once I think that and I look at it, it makes sense to me. I don't know if that makes, it's kind of like once I figure it out, it's so obvious that that's what it was saying all along.
Yeah.
But for example, in most English patterns, we'll be given kind of a set of instructions and then repeat so many times afterwards, right? Repeat these things 3 times or whatever. In this pattern, it says that repeat at the beginning. It says 1x and then how many stitches you're supposed to cast on or decrease or whatever. I kept going, what is this 1x thing? But obviously it's one time. So anyway, I don't know if that makes any sense, but I have had a couple people since I've been posting about this on Instagram asking me about the pattern. So I did want to let you know that. The pattern, you have to go to their website and find it. It's actually a free pattern, I believe. Yeah, it's a free, I can't remember anything now. I'm pretty sure it's a free pattern. But anyway, it's beautiful. It's like the only men's pattern I found that was like this. All the rest of them had kind of a shawl collar or were more, this is a little bit more fitted, which is going to suit my dad in the shaping that I need to do. And then just those beautiful cables on it. So I'm thrilled
Those suit
with it.
him really well.
It's it's a handsome sweater. So I'm really enjoying it. I've knit the back and now I'm on the right front and that's my swatch. That's not the piece I'm working on. I'm kind of a mess today, you guys. And I'm alternating skeins, so of course there's a million pieces hanging from it here. So this is the beginning of the right front there with the cabling. And once once you get the cable pattern established, I don't have to keep looking at it or anything. I can read it and tell where it needs to go. So it's fantastic. It's good for being, working on at home and so on.
Not only is this a cardigan, but it's a gift as well. which is
It
perfect
is.
for our cowl.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is your second, well, actually your
This
third
is my
sweater,
third-
but your second cardigan.
Because I knit
from
this
the
one.
cowl, from the Be My Neighbor cowl.
Although, look at
and
this.
mine
This
is
is huge.
still in the
This
same
arm thing is just way ginormous on me. Anyway, that's the only thing I don't like about this.
state. You know, the
I
best
was-
solution for that is just never raise your arms.
Well, it just look. See how it does like this right here. Like every time I wear it, it's just got this like gappy. I don't know. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It's meant to be comfy, and it is. I've been wearing it instead of a coat, like usually over another sweater.
Yeah.
But that's all I
Nice
have
and
to say
cozy.
about that. Wait, no, I have one more thing to say about that.
Oh, what?
My dad is like feeling guilty because I'm knitting him a sweater because he knows I've been like feeling stressed and overwhelmed. Mostly just with getting my kids off and doing their things. But I told him, I said, I don't feel guilty. This is my enjoyment. I like this. This is what I do to recover from that stress. But I did tell him that if it's not done for Christmas, then he'll get it for his birthday in February.
Yeah.
So the pressure is kind of off to have the sweater done by Christmas, which makes me enjoy it even more. If I was
That's good.
stressing about trying to finish it in the next 3 weeks, Deborah, it's only 3 weeks.
Don't say that.
Not even 3 weeks
As
anymore.
soon as Christmas is done, wedding plans are like into high gear.
Oh yeah.
I am enjoying every moment of Christmas. I'm like, soak it all in. I love it. I love it.
Me too.
Normally I just like run around crazy. Well, I'm still running around crazy, but I'm like being aware and
I'm just determined to do fun things and
Yeah.
not, because I feel like my whole life is work,
yeah.
which it's okay. I think work is good and
Yeah.
work brings pleasure too, but sometimes you just gotta play. So we're playing. We're
Yep.
trying to get some playing in.
That's good.
Ooh, and we're going on vacation next week.
Yay!
So,
hooray for vacation.
Just my 2 younger kids and me and some friends. Not like my husband won't be going. My oldest son won't be going. That's going to be so weird.
That will be really
We're
odd.
going to have a great time.
All right. I set this aside to focus on socks,
So pretty.
but I am so close to being done.
I have to
So
squish it.
this is Birds of a Feather Shawl by Andrea Mowry. I'm like, what's the best picture to show? I have no idea, but here's one. And I am knitting it with my Shirley Temple colorway. This one is Seafoam, a Seafoam mini, and bubblegum mohair. So
I have my yarn.
where's the
just
right side?
sitting,
This is the
waiting.
right side. So it is almost done. I mean, this thing is big. It is long. I held it up. It's taller than I am. But it is going to be so lovely. I know.
You're trying to take it away from me. I just
Give
keep
it back,
looking.
Emily.
I won't keep it, but I definitely have to knit this for myself.
I told this before. I added in a little contrast
I love the contrast.
strip on the garter sections. Just because this is so much pink. I'm like, let's just break it up a little bit. So
Is it bad if I copy?
no. We could even wear them on the same time.
Which
and-
we probably
and
would.
We probably would.
Without communicating about it.
But all I have is the last little bit of this mohair section to do, and one more section with the
Is it the
Shirley
lace?
Temple, and it's not lace. So that's all I have. But I'm like, I'm not working on this until I finish all of the Christmas things, which I am really enjoying knitting all the Christmas things. That's one of the reasons. That's the main reason why I do it. Because come on, if somebody wants a hat, I can go buy a hat, and they would love the hat. But I knit it because I enjoy doing it. But at the same time,
Yes,
it does
that's
make
right.
it so that I'm
There we go.
focusing on different projects. So this one I'll finish after Christmas, and I'm really looking forward to it. So there's my last knitting project. Well, I mean that's the last one that I've been working on.
Right.
There's others sitting.
I do have a
waiting
couple
for me.
that have been kind of hibernating for
Yeah.
some time.
I'll come back to those. I have decided after knitting a lot of patterned socks lately that I need in between each patterned sock pair. I need 1 or 2 vanilla socks in between, because I want to knit a lot of these gorgeous patterns that are coming out, but I really need to have the in between.
I just realized I have another finished object, but I already
What?
gave them to my husband. I knit another pair of socks.
Oh, you finished the socks?
For my husband. So
and so you've knit him 2 pair now.
yes, and he doesn't like them in his shoes. He doesn't like to wear them like regular. He's what's the word I'm looking for? He's got tender baby feet, which to him means any texture.
Oh, okay.
And you can still feel a little texture even in your.
It did
very
take me
tiny,
a while to
yeah.
get used to the hand knit, because I felt the texture of the knitted stitches.
Yeah.
But I don't notice that anymore.
But he doesn't like them in his shoes. However, he does like he wears them to bed, and he wears them around the house, and like when we're going to watch a movie, because he always has socks, you know. It doesn't matter how hot it is in the summer or whatever. He's always going to have socks on. And he's been wearing them quite a bit.
That's
so
good. That's good.
That's fun. So yes, I did knit those. Maybe I'll remember to bring them. I probably won't. I'm just going to be honest, like.
That's okay. It's okay. We're here, people. We're here. So I've been doing cross stitch lately, because sometimes with all the knitting, my hands need to do something else. So I started one project, and just like knitting, you can fall down a rabbit hole and start like 17 others. So I started this little girl here, and it's from a book that's no longer available, and I don't even remember the name of it. I'm not even pulling that out. So anyways, I just have I copied the chart and worked from the chart, or the copied chart there. Well, I was working on that, but then I saw this cute set, Welcome to the Forest set by Country Cottage Needleworks. Here's the first one, and it's like a banner that goes across the top, and you can stitch these all on one piece with the large banner across the top that says Welcome to the Forest, and then different panels in there. But I am actually stitching mine to make like a pennant banner to hang on my mantle. So I only left a little bit of space because I'm going to sew these, you know, I'll do right sides together, some fabric with some interfacing, and turn them right sides out. So I don't need much extra space in between.
So cute.
So I did one chart, which is Forest Raccoon and Friends. And I started on the banner, and then it snowed, and I said I now can no longer stitch on anything that's not Christmassy. But it was also on a day that I was sick, and I was done knitting for a while, so I pulled out a chart, and I had fabric, but I'm like, I don't have the threads, the colors that it calls for, and I'm like, who cares? When I knit, I never go with what is recommended on the pattern ever. Why would I have to do that when it's being charted? So when it's cross stitch. So I just pulled out whatever I could find, and it is the cutest little chart by Lizzie Kate, and it's called Tiny Tidings. This is Tiny Tidings 21 or XXI, yeah. And I just pulled out whatever I had. And this is what we have so far. He's so cute. These are adorable. And this,
what do you make with them? Are they like just little hangings, or
honestly, I don't even care. I'm just making them because they're fun. So I used to have this shop at a place called the Quilted Bear. If any of you live in Utah, I don't think it was anywhere else. I think it was just a Utah
It's a consignment boutique of handmade.
Of handmade things. And I had that because there were a lot of things I wanted to make that I had no need for, but I had to make them, and I had amassed a large amount. And I had a gift closet that was overflowing, and finally I'm like, I'm just going to go open a little booth in this consignment boutique. Well, I'm kind of doing that with my stitching here. I just make it because I want to make it, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Or it'll probably be gifts, or someday I'll finish it into something cute. I don't know. but I'm just making it.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I did that, and then I just kitted up all of the stuff for Merry Christmas, My Dear by Country Cottage Needleworks.
Oh.
And this one is so cute. It has this polka dot
I love
linen.
that. Polka dot linen.
It's so cute.
Oh my goodness.
So, another rabbit hole. One of my friends called me the other day and said, so my mother gifted me an embroidery machine and tons of thread. I mean, she had like 5 large Rubbermaid bins full of embroidery thread and this machine. And she's like, and I have no idea what to do with it because I don't have room for this and I don't have time for another hobby. Do you want it? And I was like, don't show me that because I don't have room for it or time for another hobby. But now that's all I can think about. And I'm like,
selling it?
No, she wanted to give it away. Anyways, I was like,
Can't believe you didn't jump on that.
It was really hard. And I'm like, okay, I will find a home for it with somebody that I know so that I can still use it. But we ended up finding a home for it quickly, so that's good. But just like, you know, I don't need another thing to start on. So
I hear you.
I
find that I'm becoming kind of, I want to say practical, but I really don't think that's the right word. I think that's putting maybe too like positive a spin on it about my crafting as I get older. I give myself less permission to make something just for the pleasure of making it. Like it has to have already a predetermined purpose. Mm-hmm. Now, it doesn't mean like if I want to just knit socks or knit a hat or whatever, I'll still just do that. But the purpose then is to put aside for when I give it to somebody. And I'm making things for my future grandchildren, as I've talked about in the past, but they still have a purpose. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like I have a hard time just starting something just for the pleasure of making it without knowing
what you're going to do with
what its use is at the end. And I don't, like I said, I don't know that that's, I'm saying practical, but I don't think that that's exactly the right word for it. I don't know.
Well, I don't make as much stuff anymore like I used to, where I used to make, I mean, like everything that we ever used, I ever gave, you know. Yeah. And now, I'm like, if I can buy it, I'm buying it. Unless.
Right, yeah.
Unless it's knitted and I'm like, I really want to make that. Then, because it's a stress reliever and it just creates so much enjoyment. But the things that do not bring that, I'm not going to make it to try to please somebody or save a buck or whatever. Because I love, there's a meme that goes around like, why buy that for $7 when I could make it for $82? You know?
Yeah, exactly. And take hours and hours to do it.
And I'm kind of like, yeah.
The only difference for me with that is I will sew things because I can't find what it is that I want.
Yeah.
So like for Arroyo, I made I made one dress and then completely remade another dress because we loved this certain pattern, but they only had it in like one color in her size that was really her personality. And so I kind of deconstructed a dress and made a couple others to match it. So that I'll do, where the process of it is not something that I really enjoy, but I do want the finished product. But most of the time I'm with you. It better be a pleasurable experience to make it.
Well, that's why I didn't make my daughter's wedding dress. I've made wedding dresses. I used to sew for people all the time, and I finally just decided I don't enjoy doing that. Yeah. I did it because people needed it and I could do it, and then I earned some money, and then I realized I wasn't happy doing it, and there's other people that can sew that want to do it, so I'm not going to. So people were shocked when they're like, you didn't make your daughter's wedding dress? No, I have zero desire to do that.
Right.
I want to enjoy the process of preparing a wedding with my daughter and not dread it.
So true. I'm with you on that.
So I will still make things because we need to, because I can't find it or whatever it may be. But for the most part, I'm much happier to buy it when I can.
Agreed.
So,
All right.
okay.
It's now time for our Kindness is Like Sugar segment.
So, on Instagram, if any of you follow me on Instagram, on Candy Shop Yarns or Indigo Chicken Dolls, I posted 2.5 weeks ago, maybe, a plea for your help because I was going to teach a knitting class to a group of girls that were ages 8 to 11. So I had this opportunity come up last minute where I could teach a group of girls to knit, and I'm like, I am jumping on that. But I can't do that on my own because we have pretty much a zero budget and I have a week to get ready for this and a large group. So I need a lot of needles and I need a lot of yarn. And so I thought, well, I'm just gonna ask my friends on Instagram. So I put out a call for help, and boy, did you guys answer. I received so much, so many offers to assist me with. Some people donated monetarily, some people purchased needles and shipped them, some people just sent me boxes full of yarn. But it was so fun. It was so much fun because I took all of these supplies in to this class of girls and their eyes lit up. They were so excited. So I had this giant laundry basket full of yarn and bags that we had made kits with. I cast on and knit the first row for each person beforehand. So I needed everything ahead of time, and we had it all in baggies and had some printed instructions, and the girls were just so excited. So I also borrowed these giant knitting needle props from Knit and Pretty. It's a local knitting shop here in, is it West Jordan?
Mm-hmm.
And the owner, Lauren, she is just really sweet. And I was telling her what I was doing and asked if I could borrow her giant knitting needles. And she's like, sure, sounds good. So I take these huge knitting needles into the class. And the girls were like, what are we doing? They just thought it was so much fun. So using those giant knitting needles and really, really big, the thick yarn, we demonstrated up in the front of the room, the process with the rhyme, in through the front door, once around the back, out through the window, and off jumps Jack. So we did that. Taught them a little hand clapping thing with it so they could remember it. And we did it from with the giant needles so that everybody could see it one time because it's really difficult to teach. We had 19, I think, people wanting to see this all at one time, and we had 50 minutes. So how am I going to teach that many people in that much time? So that worked really well. And we had 2 left-handed knitters, and every single person there that I could see, except for one who had her hand in a cast.
But also knows how to knit.
Can do successfully knit at least 2 stitches on their own. Like, everybody was able to do it with assistance, but then we made sure that everybody could do it on their own. So I was really, really pleased about that because I honestly thought that we'd have half the group go, oh, this is too hard, and give up. But they all were just so excited. And when time was up, and I'm like, okay, it's time to clean up. And they're like, wait, I gotta get to the end of the row. I totally hear you. And I said, I understand. Believe me, I understand. At the same time, we had to end. And you're just learning. And you're at the beginning. This could take like 45 minutes to get to the end of that row. So we're going to just have to end. But I got feedback afterwards that 2 of the girls had gone home and were so excited we're teaching their family how to knit. So.
Oh, and during lunch,
Yeah.
there were
we
a
had
whole
a knitting,
table
an
of-
impromptu knitting group.
Yeah.
It was so fun. I know one of the girls was sitting on the table knitting, and then the others were all climbing around. It was so cute. So, the kindness that was done was each of you that were so kind in donating, and for those that offered, but I already had plenty, thank you so much, because we want to continue to share this wonderful craft that is having a resurgence, but at the same time, you know, it's still not a household thing like it used to be. It used to be that, you know, everybody in the household, at least every household, at least one person had this skill. And so it's not really that way anymore. And so I'm always happy to pass on the information. So thank you very much for being so kind and generous in helping me teach this class.
I love it. That is fantastic. It was so fun. Abby and Nadia were both part of that group.
They helped
and they were
teach.
helping.
Yeah, they all went around. Our girls went to help the other girls who needed help. So that was great.
And Abby felt like she was walking so tall,
That
just
is
knowing.
good.
Aunt Deborah asked me to help teach.
Yeah.
And so she just felt so...
beforehand, she said, I don't really know that much. And I said, you know how to do what we're doing
Yeah,
here.
she does.
Like, you've got this down. And she was really good at helping, so.
She can knit, she can purl, she can knit two together, and she can knit front and back.
So there you go.
And she can bind off. So that's a lot for a 10-year-old to know.
All I taught was
She's
just
fine.
the knit stitch. That's
Yeah.
it. And so I sent home information, and I also emailed out some links to help with more classes in the future. But
That's
anyways.
so fun. I had a couple little things. Oh,
okay.
that I wanted to show that I forgot to show earlier.
Okay.
These were things that we got at the Dickens Festival,
yeah.
but they're both related to Aria because they're things that are going to her. So Aria's favorite book of all time is Fox and Socks. I haven't really talked about this, but Aria has kidney disease, and and she's doing great. She's very stable. Everything is good. Right now, in the future, that could change, but right now everything is fantastic. But we do have, we had to regularly go and see her kidney doctor. And every time we were there, she would pull out this book, Mom, because we'd go to a pediatric, nephrologist. Mom, I got to read you my story. So, she's here at 17, 18, 19 doing this with me. So I found this book made into a journal. And this is so perfect for her. So this is going to go in her care package. It has the whole story in it. But it also has these journal pages put together. I thought that was just so fun. I was thrilled to find that yesterday. And this is made by, it's not in here. It's,
It was on your Instagram
Tell
story.
Another Story is the name of the company. And I did post about this on Instagram, but it just made me so happy. And then when this was at the Dickens Festival that we got this. And then at the Festival of Trees, they were making personalized Christmas stockings. And in our faith, when somebody is serving a mission, the women are called sister and the men are called elder. Anyway, so it's just got her Sister Clausen on it, and they personalized that for her, but it just turned out so cute. So those are fun. I get to put together her care package and send it off in the next couple days here, so she gets it by Christmas.
That will be so fun.
I know.
She'll be really excited about that book. Are you
She's
going to write
gonna
a
be
little
so-
note inside?
Yes.
That's
Yep. Yep.
I know I've bought quite a few of the books like that. I just love them.
They're
I especially
so
love
fun.
the vintage books, like
Yeah.
that are really worn out, and then they remake them into this. I got
It's
one
such
for
a-
my daughter last year for Christmas, and she has her journal in there. I think what a great way to repurpose that.
Well, and these are, just to be clear, these are used books. In fact, there's some writing from some little kid inside it. They're used books that are being recycled. And so I just love that because now it has a new purpose. And I don't need another copy of Fox and Socks.
But a journal.
But a journal that has your favorite children's story in
Yeah.
it. How fun. And the one you got me, I can't remember the title of the book right now, but it was a very much a vintage book from like the 50s. That's my dyer's notebook that I use. So I use it every day. It's so fun.
Yeah, I've bought a few more this year. There's 2 companies that I know that do that, and I've bought
That
some
are
from
local.
both. Yeah, that are local here.
Fun stuff.
All right, we have our Be My Neighbor knit along, crochet along, so our cowl that is all about Mr. Rogers sharing love and kindness. And so you can either knit or crochet a cardigan, or you can knit or crochet a gift, because we know that this is the time for sharing our love with one another. So you can enter any of your finished objects in our Ravelry group, but that actually is going to end at the end of December. So we're finishing that up, but we have winners. Wait, no, we don't have winners for this time. Do we have winners for this time?
We need to pause.
Okay, we do have a winner.
So our winner is Carla from Nebraska. She is CB Crafty Girl. And Carla has knit a couple of different things, but the winning post was a cowl that she knit for a relative, and super cute. So Carla, you are winning for yourself, and then you also get a gift for a friend that you get to choose.
You got to pick a friend, and you've got to get their mailing ad information and Ravelry information.
Yes.
So we have these really, really sweet project bags. Really sweet. This is Little Robin Cottage. Oh my goodness. These were donated to us this last week. And sorry, I know all the crinkling can be noisy, but they are so cute. Oh my goodness. There's a little hedgehog right there. These are adorable and really well made. These are both this is a drawstring bag. It's a little bit smaller. It's great for socks. This one is more of a medium size. That's a zippered bag.
Good for shawls and things like that.
Yeah. So you will win. You get to choose which one of these that you want. And there's also a sweater pattern.
So yes, a beautiful sweater pattern by Judy Jewel, who is the Autumn Acorn on Instagram. And she is she's delightful. She also has a podcast, and her sweater is called the 5 Days Sweater. I'm just going to pull up a picture really quick. It's super cute. And she's giving away 2 copies of this pattern, so one for you and one for your friend. But it's a really cute, textured, roomy, cute pattern. So that pattern goes along with those bags. So congratulations to Carla.
So contact me through Instagram at Indigo Chicken Dolls, or on Ravelry at Indigo Chicken. And we need your mailing address for your friend who's also going to win. You can and her Ravelry information, so that we can get the pattern and the bag shipped.
We should say his or hers.
That's true.
His or her Ravelry information.
Because I do love to see when we have men knitters. Love it.
Love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, my husband is one.
So is my son. So there we go. Excellent. I think that is everything.
Okay. Well,
so we've got, don't forget to enter, comment below for a chance to win that beautiful project bag. This beautiful project bag. And then we have some shop news.
Yeah. So it's almost Christmas time.
I know.
We've had lots of different updates with fun new colorways. What do you have going on, Emily?
So I will have my last update for this year next week. And I will post on Instagram about that. But I will be having my Christmas Carol colorways. I'm missing one. I have one more that's Milk of Human Kindness. But I just can't keep it in stock. So I thought I had one and it was gone. So this is Ebenezer. This is Bob Cratchit. This is Old Man Fezziwig. And this is December the 25th Correct, which is a nod to our very favorite Christmas musical. And I also have Nutcracker. And then Milk of Human Kindness. And then these are my Nutcracker mini skeins in Clara, Sugar Plum, Waltz of the Flowers, Snowflakes, and Mouse King. So there's those fun colors. I don't know if you can see the pink speckles in Waltz of the Flowers. So I will have all of those restocked next week. There's still a few of each of these, I think, in the shop, but I'll also be restocking for the last time next week. And then I have fun plans that I'm so excited about for the new year. But I'll talk about that later. How about you?
Yes, I have my winter fruits collection, which I made into mini sets as requested. I have some full skeins left, but now they are whatever's left after that, they're dyed to order. So you can still get them, but you have to order them, and then I will dye them just as requested. But I do have a handful of my winter fruits collection, and so the colors that I have are cranberry, grapefruit, sugar plum, pear, winter pear, and pomegranate. And all of these, I got fruit, cut it open, or had a picture of one and like just dyed it because of the colors. Anyways, so this color was a happy little accident. This one is called a wassailing. I was going for something completely different and then ended up creating just, I love this beautiful one. I love it. So it's got these reds and browns and variety of greens, and then a coordinating mini that is just the undertone of the whole skein. So nice. So we have that one, and I called it a wassailing because it really made me think of all of the goodness of the Christmas season.
Makes me want to sing.
I know.
Here we come, a wassailing.
I've been singing that a lot now because of it. And I already showed you frosting and sprinkles. This one, I will have. This one actually is going to be a Christmas colorway, and I'm like, I ended up changing this up a bit and changing the colors to make it just celebration, because it's perfect for any time.
It really is.
So I will have this one in the shop for a while. This one is just short time right now, and winter fruits is going to be dyed to order. So this one will be available for a little while, but the other ones, get this if you can. This one while you can.
Yep.
But I do still try to keep things always stocked in my shop, so that you don't have to fight on a shop update. I just go and add them in and put it on Instagram and let you know that I've added them. And I will have some little Christmas pudding charms in there. Wait, do you have that one there?
I do.
I have some little Christmas pudding charms. It's going to be hard to see with the plastic, but those will be going in the shop on Monday as well. So I'll have a limited number of those.
That's so fun.
There's all the fun.
Yeah, and I should say, I'm not doing, I do call it a shop update, but I try and keep things in stock as well. It's just that's my big restock day.
Yeah.
So,
I don't have regularly scheduled ones like a lot of people.
I don't either.
Just, when I have the time, I do it, I put it in there, and then I go and tell everybody, because I've mentioned before, I don't like the frenzy where you're
I don't really see that as much anymore. Maybe
not as much.
I like that trend seems, at least from what I've seen, seems to be kind of changing.
Yeah,
so
which I think that's true. I think that's true. It should always be a pleasurable experience ordering yarn.
It really should. It really should. Well, this is us, and this is, I think, what we have to share today. We hope you're having just the best December. Hopefully that it's filled with people that you love, or at least thoughts and memories of those that you love, and that you're having some fun doing some making and staying cozy.
Yes, I wanted to give a shout out before we go.
Oh, yes.
To one of our friends, Nicola.
Yes.
Hi. At Bumble Stitches. Nicola. Yeah, if you're looking for a new podcast, it's not a new podcast. I just wanted you to know that if you haven't already
found her, you
Bumble
should
Stitches.
definitely.
She is just really, really sweet and one of our dear friends, and so we wanted to share the happy news. If you need another podcast, because who doesn't?
We all do.
Go see Bumble Stitches on Instagram and on YouTube.
Fantastic.
Okay, have a good holiday.
We'll see you later. Bye-bye.